Right, here we are. We're waking up after an overnight stay at Haberstone Village on day 3 of our motorcycle trip around Yunnan in southern China. It's a place with redonkulous views, unbelievable food. We stopped at this place and didn't order any dishes which I've not had before, but they were all just a million times better, fresher, crunchier, tastier than anywhere else in China where I've had those dishes. We had to traverse the road which is being blasted, and this had to be the worst surface we drove on throughout the whole trip, which paradoxically made it the best stretch of road, and most challenging and most fun to ride. But what is causing this gridlock here? Let's have a look. There must be something in front. Oh, nothing. Oh, well, that's strange. Could have parked in that wider bit of road, maybe. A little bit further on, you could see there was a digger blocking the road, but we managed to squeeze past easily. That, my friends, is the magic of a motorcycle. I was really happy with my Cove 500X, enjoying the ride, and totally akin with it now, only fluffing the odd gear every now and then. Ethan was getting on really well with his Honda CB400X as well. It's got street tyres on it, so didn't have much grip on the surfaces we found ourselves riding on, but he seemed to be drifting around happily now. No twitches, he just kind of took it in his stride. There was plenty of nature to have a look at as we rode around Yunnan, and also you could put the hammer down and give it some beans. The bike really is an adventure bike, it's not really meant for that, but a lot of fun nonetheless. You'll notice as you watch this footage of us riding along, and Ethan jamming his thumb right up there again, that we're heading downhill. We're going from some peaks down into the bottom of the valley. We're looking for a ferry to take us across the river. Jaw-dropping views all the way down, and the GoPro doesn't do it justice, but riding in and out of this dappled sunlight was really rather a special moment. The road flattened out, the fields got bigger, the turns less steep, and the temperature climbed. Oh, it was so hot. In the space of, I don't know, an hour, we went from the top where we were chilly to just sweat in buckets. So a cheeky fresh apple on the side of the road was welcomed, and eventually we found ourselves in the flat bottom of the valley, which was just really, really hot. The road was loosely surfaced, which is enjoyable, and there's more and more signs of water everywhere, and eventually we found ourselves at simply a gigantic puddle. So being the brave souls that we are, Ethan and I let the tour guide go first. He's also on a 300 GY Rally, which is easily the most capable off-road bike out of the 3, so we sent him across as a guinea pig. Ethan decided if you just went a little faster, you'd give your undercarriage a wash, and that's exactly what he did. I, on the other hand, had daydreams of being Ewan McGregor on Long Way Round, so I went for the slow and steady approach, standing on the pegs. Not necessary, but points for style, I think. Yeah, I think I pulled that off perfectly. Now, this area is not so developed, and Jar hadn't been here, the tour guide. He hadn't been here for 3 or 4 years. So we got lost, didn't we? We hit a dead end. And you could see the ferry from there, but we weren't sure how to get there. And we ended up getting it turned around and found our way down eventually. Now, if you've ever emerged from a tunnel, or had a meal inside a tent, or done any other one of those activities in life that shouldn't be crazy or spectacular, but for some reason holds a certain majesty, then you'll appreciate this ferry ride. We had to wait for a little while, but we hung out with the goats until the captain got there, and pretty soon we were off. The sweltering heat was no longer a problem, as the movement of the ferry generated a lovely breeze, and it was just a short trip across to the other side, and then we were off and away up that track there. Another loose surface road, rough and fun and engaging. In the background there you can see that steep gorge. That, my friends, is Leaping Gorge, and where we would be staying that night. Somebody once told me it's the deepest gorge in the world. I'm not so sure, I think that might be Cheddar Gorge. Favourite of mine. Here's a cow who doesn't give a monkeys about us riding past or us peeping our horns. Anyway, we made it up onto the main road through Leaping Gorge, and we saw a tourist spot. Thankfully with no tourists, so we had to stop, didn't we? Get a nice shot down the gorge there. Look at that, very gorgy. I shall resist the temptation to say it's gorgeous, because then I'd have to shoot myself in the head. We didn't stop long, just in case any horrendous people arrived, so we're back on our bikes and heading further into the gorge to find this beauty. Look at that road. Oh! We had to go up there to get to our accommodation, and every single one of the many turns revealed a simply spectacular view in the direction that we'd come from. I was firmly in love with my bike by now. It proved massively capable, and I'm not much of a speed demon, so the 55 odd horsepower it's got was enough for me. Could drop the hammer every now and then and put a little smile on my face. And it wasn't just the roads and the bikes that were pleasing, it was simply everything. I've said it already on this trip, but every facet of this trip was fun or challenging, and those two things are synonymous in my book. I had to share a room with Ethan, which is something I do with a great pleasure, and they had a pool, didn't they? So Ethan had to shove one more thumb up for today before we got down to that pool, and relaxed with a beverage or two or 8. Quite interestingly, the pool is fed by mountain water, so it is absolutely effing freezing. Ethan decided to combat that by jumping in like a little old man. There he goes, look, yeah. This was the last full day's riding, so we sat there, admired the view, and kind of mumbled about what we'd done the last few days. And the conclusion was that it was 100% worth every single penny 10 times over. So put your devices down and get yourself on a motorcycle trip of Yunnan right now. Goodbye.